So, without delay, let's get started. Today, we have Billy Ray from High Jump True Commerce. He will be our presenter. Billy Ray has over 15 years experience in the supply chain industry and works closely with Sage, partners, and you guys, the end users. Also, just so you know, your account managers at RKL are Gia Lane on the East Coast and Rachel Roselli on the West Coast, should you have any questions following up regarding the webinar. Billy Ray, you can start.
All right. Thank you, Danica, and thank you, everybody, for attending today. What we're going to be doing today is going over an agenda that for integrating EDI into your Sage systems. We'll do a brief introduction as to who the new High Jump is. There's been, some questions. We've undergone some significant growth over the last 2 years. Some of our company objectives as to positioning of the product, some of the methodology that we've improved to create an enhanced experience for Sage end users. A brief touch on our market overview, and largely, again, as to where we fit in the Sage ecosystem. And then a little bit about our product strategy, how we've built the product, and what the methodology was in deriving the best product experience for a Sage end user. And that will also enclose we'll have a demo of the product, and then we'll open up that discussion. So first off, the new High Jump, I've actually been here since 2008, so it's kind of a radically grown company over those years. And as you can see, we've crossed over the 100 million mark a few years ago as part of the greater High Jump with $156 million in last year's revenue. And that's making us the third largest supply chain management software provider in the globe now. So, the advantage is that we're an experienced, financially secure, but still a growth company. And we're now at over 750 employees with 15,000 customers worldwide, including 1,400 new name logos in 2014. Now, that is the overall High Jump experience, and the reason I mention that is largely that while I'm part of the EDI group, I understand that it gives us a greater depth of understanding of the supply chain process and how that can affect all types of users. And some of our, overall stated objectives are delivering products that really are leading solutions, feature-rich, but resilient and affordable. So what we've done is taken a policy that we have taken our initial products and continually enhanced them and grown them and limiting our number of new product offerings per year. We used to be known for being more of a wide across shallow depth. We've really wanted to flesh out our solutions and enhance the experience of our current markets as opposed to jumping into a lot of different markets. And that is also tied into quality. What we want to do is consistently have the best product on the market for our offerings. And of course, working with great business partners like RKL, and also we're a Sage endorsed partner. What that means is basically what we want to do is, again, kind of going to that resilient and affordable. We want you to have products that you feel faith in, that this is not something that we're new to, that not just the development time, but the support is backed up so that you have a total customer experience. And obviously giving you, the end user, especially as an EDI user, the opportunity to gain and retain bigger and better customers and suppliers. Just as a glance, as I mentioned, we're at $156 million revenue now. We're now over 120,000 trading partners. And, again, it goes back to the deep product coverage where we're now becoming part of a global network for complete supply chain execution. And if we look at that supply chain, what we're actually doing is dividing High Jump into different business segments. I'm part of the network segment. We have our supply chain, which would be our warehouse management, direct store deliveries, transportation and route management. And then on this side where I participate, which is the network, which we're now going to be calling our global network. So we'll actually be able to expand beyond EDI in the coming year. We can now support Edifact EDI transactions, whereas previously we were only X12, and getting basically deeper into our EDI integrations so that we have total translation, connectivity, and networking for the end user. So again, it is an enhancement that we've brought about, which way it allows us to trade globally, and being able to bring EDIFACT on as an EDI standard was a major endeavor for us this year. Now, we do carry what we can call a managed network, which means different trading partners can require different types of connection points. With the True Commerce Network, you only have one touch point. We completely manage that for you in-house, and these are just a sample of some of the most common connection points, but understand that all of these are updated and maintained by True Commerce, along with the EDI mappings of those trading partners. So you can have different types of partners making different types of requirements, and understand that at True Commerce we'll be managing that network for you, and that'll all happen behind the scenes, including recertification of an AS2 certificate, any changes in protocol on the FTP, and also any charges that might be incurred on what we call a VAN interconnect that is subsumed by True Commerce. And also we are a value partner of Commerce Hub, so if you're in the e-commerce market and now being required to transact on an EDI standard, we maintain that for you also. And these are just some examples of the types of customers or partners that will be requiring these. So as you can see, the AS2 is widely supported in both retail and healthcare. The FTP connection, again, it's just a different type of connection. Again, grocery, retail, again, drop shipping, and different VAN interconnects. These are basically companies that rely on another managed network to provide their data to them, and we interconnect to that VAN for you. And then obviously the customers that use Commerce Hub for their drop shipping or direct to end user programs. So again, the nice part is while there's a whole different type of partners here and different types of connection points, we're maintaining and managing both the connectivity and the updates for you, and any outages that would occur on their side, we maintain contact with them while they are getting their system back in line to give you a deliverable estimate for when their system will come back up. So we're in constant contact with all of these partners, and we'll get notifications if they are having errors on their network side. Now, what we try to do here is the high jump is a scalable solution. And what I like to say about that is there's really no wasted software. On the right-hand side here, you see Sage X3 ERP, which, yes, I meant to change that over since Sage X3 is now just Sage X3. But the point being is whether it will be Sage 100, Sage 50, Sage 300, Sage 500, it's the same process for all of those software. We're basically having your network connection, which is connecting you to your trading partners, a series of mappings that are specific to that trading partner, and then a translator, which is taking that raw EDI and mapping it to your system. So if we look at it, this becomes the True Commerce Trading Network, the X12, or in this case now EDIFACT mapping for the trading partner. The software we'll be looking at today, the Transaction Manager, which is providing the translation both from the raw EDI data and also preparing for the mapping, integration mapping to your Sage system. And also all your maintenance and support is included with that, so there is no cost for maintenance support with your True Commerce software. And I have a little cloud up here, just so you know, it's completely your choice whether you would like to use an on-premises or a cloud-based solution. There is no difference in the pricing or functionality of those models. So both are available. It's really just a matter of preference. And when you do add a new trading partner, all we have to do is swap in a new mapping for that trading partner, and the mapping to and from your Sage system remains constant. Now, one of the other things we do is we do participate in both the Sage Investment Partner Protection Plan, and also we work with RKL, so if you were to ever move to a new Sage solution, the advantage is all these other trading partners in your network and your maintenance and support and your transaction manager would be the same. All we'll be doing is changing the mapping to your new Sage system. So we like to say there's no wasted software. There's nothing that you're buying that's a temporary Band-Aid. Everything is something that you can use, and if you migrate to a different solution later, you're going to be credited for that with us. What I'm going to talk about next is a little bit of some of the advantages, and I'm going to get a little more detailed. So if some of you are new to EDI, I can go back to some of those questions about maybe prepping for EDI, but I really wanted to talk about more of the actual integrations today and save time for the demo. We offer, we're the endorsed partner for Sage 50, Sage 100, Sage 300, and Sage 500. And for Sage X3, that's a newer platform for them that was released after the endorsed partner program, but we are at the highest level of partnership with Sage on that program. Additionally, users of RKL, we have a special agreement with Sage and RKL. RKL actually was very active in helping us develop our Sage X3 product, so we are considered a market leader and endorsed for that platform by Sage. So if we look at the different products, and I just kind of want to give you some of the highlights of the integration packages, we have a direct API call integration to Sage 100, which is actually what I'm going to be showing you in a little bit here. And some of the nice things that we have that people are always looking for that we've enhanced over the years, for example, is true pricing validation. In the past, with a lot of EDI solutions, you could only set up one or neither of these options, which was to either accept the customer order price or assign a Sage system price. With our system, it is true pricing validation, where it's going to give you a warning or a report if the customer price deviates from your Sage price, holds that order, and asks you what you would like to do with it. So it's not automatically and arbitrarily assigning a price without you knowing the difference. It's giving you guidance that there is a deviation from the Sage price and the customer order price. And that will also come up, in addition to pricing validation, incorrect SKUs, incomplete items. It's going to give you a report and a validation for that. That's really important if you're running your system on an automated basis. Additionally, we have external translation tables. These are for cross-referencing. It allows you to store different items and UPCs to your Sage item. And really the advantage of that is it allows you to store different item types for your partner level, yet always remain a consistent Sage stock keeping item. We always like to say it allows your customer to get it their way. And also we store addresses and store and DC codes there. Again, so different partners can send you information in different formats, and we reconcile it prior to bringing it into Sage. A couple of the other nice things is we created some auto packing rules that basically streamline your packing process. Now, I should let you know, and I'll detail this in greater detail in the demo, we also work with all of the popular add-ons endorsed partners for Sage for shipping. So whether it's scanning or packing, we do work with all the primary Sage add-on modules. We'll write back to our module. But we do include, if you don't have any of that functionality, an auto packing rule system and flexible invoicing, which was something else that we developed. Finally, our system comes built in with external warehouse support, which means if you're working with what we call a 3PL or an external warehouse that you don't maintain yourself, we support that with both pick tickets and confirmations, and those are directly exchanged with your 3PL and allow you to bring back information that you may need to close out that order and have shipping data entry populate information for the advanced ship notice from the warehouse. And again, the nice part is this can all be scheduled. I will go into the scheduler function, and so you can set this up to run on an automated basis. In a similar line, these are just some of the standard documents that are supported here, whether it be a purchase order, which could be the 850, which is the standard purchase order, the 875 for grocery. Same with the invoice, the 810 and the 880, the advanced shipping notice, and both of the warehouse documents. And then we also have an optional integration if you want to do EDI purchasing, where you're actually sending out your purchase order and receiving back an invoice or a receipt of goods. Now, you do need to be on version 4.4 or higher to use our business objects integration version. If you're on an earlier version that's heavily customized, we would use Visual Integrator for that, but most folks are generally on 4.4 or higher. And one of the other nice things is as part of the endorsement, any future version updates, so each year if you're doing a version update, there's no cost from TrueCommerce for us to do the matching EDI integration, and we work 90 days out from release, from general release with Sage to have that ready within 30 days of release of the update from Sage. For Sage 500, it's a little bit different. Again, we built this with basically writing API calls back and forth to the Sage 500 unit. But the nice part is that the TrueCommerce modules provide great visibility and activity logging. So again, you do get into that true purchase order validation or sales order validation and logging your activities for exceptions reports. Also, kind of by the nature of Sage 500, we've written it to be a little bit more customizable because we often encounter different business processes. So while what you see here is a list of standard documents, understand that we can always work with RTL. A lot of people have custom documents or custom requirements of their partners, and that's one of the advantages of how we have set this up is that on any version higher than 7.05, we can deploy both our base module and any customizations. On older versions, we would need to have a case-by-case basis to review supporting those. And then for Sage X3, this has been our most recent integration. We're quite proud of this. We built it with a web-based integration to X3, which is nice because now it has built-in process controls for monitoring duplicate purchase orders and price verifications. And basically that's ensuring data integrity, and basically we want to drive all potential chargebacks out. Also, because we use the web-based integration and calls for this, it means that we can make the X3 system highly customizable to any documents that you see beyond the standard documents that are offered with the basic packages. Now, when you order the endorsed partner programs, you order those via RKL through Sage, so they are actually a Sage list product. The Sage X3 program, that will be ordered directly through RKL and TrueCommerce in a partnership. And a couple of the things that I would like to go over is the implementation stages of the product. This is very important because, you know, there's a lot of EDI that is, we always call it, it's the standard with anything but a standard. And so what we do is a very extensive discovery process before selling the project in the first place. We'll have a general discovery of your requirements, any customizations that you might need, then review and have a demo of the product. And following that, you're going to basically get a project plan, which is basically reviewing all the requirements that you have before signing off. This also basically is invaluable because what we want you to have is an accurate, measurable time frame from your deployment. Now, one of the things we always ask is if you do have a mandate date that you need to be compliant with your trading partner by a certain day, let us know. We can often reach out to that trading partner and either have that compliance date extended or let them know that you have at least an EDI routing number and we can begin to get your transactions back and forth by that mandated date. Also, what we're going to do is then implement the total project. And what you'll get is an estimate for the project, but also basically a step-by-step breakdown of who's going to be in charge of the project, what statements are due next, and what the weekly activities are. And this can all be tracked inside of our customer center. It's a little bit something unique that we do. And in fact, inside the customer center, if you ever have questions on that, it will list your contact for your next stage in the implementation. So you can scroll right over and call the person that will be working on it or generate an email to them. So you always know, as we always like to say, who has the football. So the implementation begins with a welcome letter and auto assignment, essentially verifying names, emails, addresses, followed by a kickoff call and project plan. And that project plan will be sent over to your team leader for the deployment, and it will start with the installation of the transaction manager. At that time, we'll also do one-on-one training for your employees. We also have online training materials and downloadable materials for tutorials for following up with those trainings, and additional training videos that are available basically for refreshers. At that time, we'll also do your setup and your testing, including mapping of your EDI documents for your partner, configuring the system, your business system testing, which is essentially your Sage system, and your trading partner testing back and forth. Additionally, if you're required to do packing lists or label printing, we verify that packing list and label with your trading partner so that when you go into production with them, you know that you're sending a label that conforms to their standards and has been approved by them prior to going into production. And then after that, we'll move from test to production. But the important part is you have a step-by-step guide of where things are at and when they'll be completed. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the Transaction Manager here. Now the Transaction Manager is our base system. And I'm going to be showing this with a Sage 100 system. Now, whether you're running a Sage 50 through an X3 system, it's going to be the same transaction manager, and it will look and feel the same. The only differences would be in the features that are available in those Sage systems. But again, for the experience, this will kind of give you an idea of what this looks like day to day. And I wanted to jump into the demo because I think this opens up a more, let's just say for better words, a better opportunity for Q&A. And if you have any entry-level EDI questions or just general EDI questions, I can answer those at the end. So this is the Transaction Manager, and this is going to be your connection point to Sage. And one of the things I will jump over here is if you were to open this up in the business system, you'll have a tree, which basically shows your company on Sage 100, and then any associated companies that you have within inside of Sage, which allows us to support a multi-company environment for you with different trading companies inside your multi-company environment. And we can come back and take a look at this. The other thing that is that all of your trading partners are stored here individually, and the real advantage of that is that we can create these item templates inside of here of all the trading partners, the transactions that they support, and also your lookup tables in here. So the nice part is that what we can do is each individual trading partner may want to use different items or UPCs than your Sage system, and by storing it at the customer level here, it means that not only can we make updates to the trading partner without affecting your entire Sage system, but also when you need to do an item update, all you'll do is come into the item and go ahead and import any changes to your item, price, or customer list. So that's a very important thing. It makes it very easy to maintain your system on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. And I can come in and show you some more highlights of that. But let's just come in and show you how to do this. Now, the other thing I will mention is that I'm going to do this manually, but understand that everything that I'm doing here can be set up on an automated basis, and you could also set that up for batches. So I could, for example, just send these 2 orders, or if I wanted to, I could send all of these orders over to Sage with just the click of a button or on a scheduled basis. So let's go ahead and select all of these. And let's go ahead, and it's really this easy. You're just going to hit the export button. And all of these have moved from your inbox to your received folder. Now, you can retrieve these from the received folder at a later date or review them, but they've left the inbox, and they've now come in here and automatically created an entry inside of your Sage order entry. So we'll just come right in here, and we'll come into Sage order entry, sales order entry. And when we open that up, I'll just click to the end of the tree here. You can see I've brought in all of these different orders. And the nice part is that we're storing on this tab here any specific requirements of these different things. So we're tracking, obviously, the sales number, any specified shipping, a ship to address, and that can be your item table or ship to address. If we look at another order, you can see that we come in here. While we're still using UPS Blue, it's a drop shipment customer. And if we look at the address, you can see that this is now being shipped to someone's personal address, while the prior order was being shipped to, a actual distribution center, which is just a numbered center. That's an actual Home Depot store. So you can see that we're moving all that detail over and creating that order entry inside of Sage for you. Additionally, if you need to store a credit card requirement, it would pull that over. And then finally, we're also storing all of your requirements for your ASN here on the True Commerce tab. So in this case, we have a store number. We know we're going to reference that store number in the item translation and the type of ASN that you're currently supporting, and if you need to do what we call a consolidated ASN, and also your type of auto template. So we'll just come in here, and why don't we grab one of these orders. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this order here. Now, you can see that this is being shipped directly out. Let me grab this one here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to accept that order. Now, the nice part is now that I've accepted that order, I'm just going to come into shipping data entry and build the order out. Now, you can assign batch numbers. You can create batch numbers using whatever system you're most comfortable with. And I'm going to go ahead and create this batch. And as you know, when we're creating a shipping entry, we're also simultaneously creating a invoicing. So let's go ahead and accept this. And the nice part is that when we come in here, I'm going to come in and grab this. I can review all my orders in here and select it. Now, we have a couple neat things here. Now, the first is let's just say in this case, I'm going to go ahead and pack this complete. Now, the nice part is it's now telling us inside of here that we have 4 packages. We've used the auto packing feature for this. And the nice part is again, as I mentioned, you can work with any additionally supported by Sage add-on products for shipping. There's a wealth of good options out there, and these are all going to write back. But you can also use ours. So you can see the packages here, and if we come into this middle, you can see that package number 1 has this, and package 2, and package 3. And sorry, that was just one package. Everything is in. I'm going to grab a second one for you. But these are all packed out, and you can see the ship tos here. Now, when I go ahead and create and accept this, there's no back order on it. I'm going to go ahead and create the auto pack, and this is going to give you your containerization of it. So now you can see that there's 4 packages. So we had the 1 master pack, and now we have the 4 individual packs. And now we can go through, and you now know which boxes have which items in it. So if we go through and look at that, I can now see that container number 4 has these 5 items. Container 3 has those 5 items were continued packaging, and the other 2 are in their remaining packages. And I'll go ahead and accept the shipment. And now it's really easy to bring this information back into your TrueCommerce Transaction Manager. All you're going to do is come in and go to your Outbox. And here's where we're storing these. So I have a couple that are already in here, but it's really easy to bring these orders or shipments back in. I can come in, and what I'm going to do is when I create this import, I'm going to go in, and in this case I have multiple companies set up inside of Sage, and I'm going to import it from ABC Company, one of the test companies, and go into my saved searches here. So I have different searches here. So I have my pending ASNs, I have my pending from MFG, and you can see it's really easy. I'm just going to come in here, and these are saved searches. Now, we can create different searches that will query into the system, so it's very easy to use this. And the nice part is when we're setting these searches up, all we have to do now is come in, and I'm going to go into how we get these, and bring these in with the import. And now this is going to give me my saved search field. So I was kind of showing where they started at, but I've set up several pre-selected searches here. So I'm going to look for shipments here. And here we can see is that Amazon shipment. And I have 2 others ready, but I'm just going to import this first one. And I go ahead and I import this in. And now we have this order. Now we also have an activity log in here. And so if we come in, you can see that there's details in here. And we can go into the detail view, and you can track all of your statuses that have been done here and each step of it that have been completed. Also, you can email this out as a PDF if you need to send this to a non-EDI partner, and it's referencing your document number from the sales order that was created inside of Sage for the original starting point. And all you're going to have to do is hit send to send this off, and it's going to go to your trading partner. Now, one of the things that happens with EDI is there are penalties for not having a compliant document or having missing information. So let's go in and take a look, and let's say, for example, that I had come in and I was missing this PO. And I saved this, and I tried to send it. Well, when I come back out of this and try to send this detail, it's going to red flag it. So now if I go back into the transaction manager, we can now see that this is going to generate an error. So let's say you were running on an automated basis and I tried to send this incomplete document. It's going to hold it back, right? Let's say I sent both of these on an automated basis. You can see this one's going to clear and this one's not going to. Now the nice part is that it's not going to make me guess. It's going to guide me to what was missing. And when I complete that, we can now send that order off. And now it's a clean document. We can go back in and send that off. You can also see that that will be notated in your transaction manager history. And you can see that these were updated and corrected. And then we can go ahead and send this off. So I was talking about putting that on an automated basis. All that you really have to do, and by the way, you'll get an activity log in here. And this is basically going through all your sales orders. You can see that you had where your failures were at and your sales orders. And as far as setting up these, I talked about basically stored or saved routines in there. It's really easy. All you have to do is come in here and create a new routine, and you're going to have a queue. Now, the nice part is that you can set this up universally or at the trading partner level. So we could, for example, import and send all items that come in from FedEx, for example, or information from FedEx. Or you would have the option, let's say it's Ace Hardware, you could come in and say, I always want to import and send my invoices, and I want to do that every day, and I want to do that every 5 hours. And the nice part is you'll go in and you'll create a email notification for errors. You can put up to 150 characters in here. And if you only restriction is they do need to be, you can't put like a Hotmail in here. But you can create a user group. You can put up to 150 characters in here. And this will send out a notification of any failed documents. And also when you have this set up, anything that is basically kicks out an exception on the price validation will send you the report on anything that came up with an incomplete item, an incomplete price, or a missing item. The same thing would also be true in your ship to locations. It would tell you that you have a unrecognizable ship to address. And you can go ahead and connect that to be integrated and select which companies inside of Sage you would like to use for that. So you can create a number of different routines, and when you add that to the profile and you click your import, it will now have that opportunity. So again, you can create a series of these different events to go off, some that you may want to do hourly, some you may want to do at a specific time of day. It's really completely at your discretion as to how you would like to set those up and how they work best for you. And also inside of here, you have your user administration. And inside of here, what we're going to do is you can maintain your different users. And the advantage is here you can create different users, whether it's administrative rights, a standard user rights, or custom rights. You can then define what users have different roles. So for example, you may have some people that are working in the shipping department that you only want to be able to generate picking and packing labels. And you can create a user profile for them. You can also define this is if people have different roles in different companies in a multi-company environment, you can define it so that that user is only limited to their company that you have given them permissions for. Going back in here, the other nice part is, as you know with Sage, when we go ahead and post that shipment, I can now come in to my Outbox, and I can go back in. I have nothing ready right now, but let's go in, and if I want to, I can refresh and come in and grab my items. And you can see now I have a bunch of pending ASNs here, and you can see which ones are being flagged for incomplete information. Now, I created a lot of these just to give you an idea of how that would work. And it's, again, these are identifying errors that were created inside of your original to give you a notification of that. And also, you'll get a note inside of your sent file. You can now see all that your sent transactions that went out, and obviously you can see that these all were updated and were completely compliant. All of your red X's went, were cleared up. So you basically will not have errors going out. It's always going to be checking to make sure you have completed documents. Finally, you have your printing, your pack lists. Pack lists are basically specific to drop shipping. So whether it's a Target.com or any other online vendor, they want to have their own specific pack list. That is stored as a routine in here, specific to the trading partner that you're queuing up the transaction for, and also your print label function. So if you have to do a UCC 128 label, we're storing at the trading partner level the exact label form. And as you do that trading partner, your label is stored in here so that every time you do it, it's auto-generating the next UCC 128 if you enable it with this. And if you have to do consolidated transactions, you would also do that in here. So again, the nice part is during your testing phase, that label is sampled and tested and sent to your trading partner for compliance before that is moved into production. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions. I know I went through this pretty fast. I had a lot I wanted to try to get in. So let's go ahead and any questions here, I guess, to get started.
Okay. I have unmuted the lines. So, Billy Ray, is this a question that just came in? Does this reside in the cloud or on-premise? How does that work?
Sure. So it's completely up to the end user. We support cloud or on-premise for all of our integrations, and functionally they're almost identical. Really the only difference is that on the cloud-based version, you can run the scheduler at intervals of 15 minutes or greater. On premises, you can do it at 5 minutes or less. That's really one of the only functional differences that are out there. Everything else is the same. And one thing I did mean to show, I was creating our automation routines, but also when you do this import, I didn't show you guys, I had my shipments and these saved routines here for your searches. If you need to create a different search here for invoice, posted invoice, advanced ship notice, or your posted advanced ship notice, you would just create that in here and search. So you can go in for search for documents beyond the routines that you've created. So if I needed to search for a missing warehouse document, I can do this inside of the search function here.
Okay, great. Does anyone else have any other questions? You can also use the chat box if you feel more comfortable doing that. Okay, it looks like there's one more question.
Okay.
When my Sage product is upgraded, how does that work with you? Do you support the upgrades of Sage products from version to version?
Sure, we do. We actually begin testing about 90 days before release with Sage on all their products. And what will happen is typically we do wait for 30 days after release. But yes, it is ready essentially day one of release, and there is no cost on that. Sage will notify us, occasionally there's a big version upgrade, like if something like multi-currency were introduced. But everything will be compliant on release with Sage, and we support that 100%, and there's no cost on that.
Great. Okay, last call for questions. And if there aren't any, I will give you guys back some of your day. And this recording will again be on RKL's YouTube site. And should you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to contact Gia or Rachel, your account reps. And thank you for participating today. Thank you, Billy Ray.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.